cools when it's hot, heats when it's not, and uses far less energy than traditional systems. Those who welcome one into their habitat enjoy year-round comfort, generous rebates, and bills that nearly hibernate. Cold climate heat pumps, cooling, heating, and saving all year. That's efficient comfort, powered by Otter Tail Power Company. Visit otpco.com/heat pump.
Doth thou wisheth to save money? At FergusFallsDeals.com, we've got a whole lot of new savings, including certificates for home and garden. So much more and great savings at low prices, like Atlas Outdoor Services, Flour Mill, and beyond the mitered corners. Log on to set up an account now. It's that easy. Check it out and start saving money today at FergusFallsDeals.com.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Thursday morning. It is, 10 after 9 and currently sitting in at 71 today. Mary, how is it going?
Well, it's Thursday, so that's good for something. It wasn't raining when I got here, but when I left northeast of Pelican, it was sprinkling a little bit.
Yeah, it was sprinkling. I came in a little early. Brady had an event he had to go to, so I snuck in a little early today, and it was sprinkling a little bit when I got here.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see, it's going to be windy, probably not the best day, going to be a little on the hot side.
A chance that there's storms later on.
Yeah, shoot. We can probably turn off the rain for a while, right?
I would be happy if we went the next week and a half without any.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be. I never thought in the middle of August I would be saying no more rain, because usually we're crying for it, but I'm guessing as we get toward the end of the season and people, we'll get into harvest time here pretty soon. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is a Thursday, and we're already looking ahead at another weekend. It's flying by fast.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. My grandkids even start school on Monday.
Oh, wow.
I know. That's early.
Brutal.
It's brutal. It's brutal for grandparents who want their grandkids to still be coming and staying at the lake and not worrying about, school stuff and not having to be home early, and that kind of stuff. But they're really excited about another, well, I can't say all of them, but I know once they get back into it, they love it. It's always hard to go back to school. Oh gosh, I remember that. I hated going back.
I was in sports, so we always kind of got into it a little bit earlier. We'd be in football and soccer practices.
And now, my grandkids have played football and basketball all summer long, and volleyball. So their seasons never really seem to end. But now we're getting into volleyball, now we're getting into football, and we've got grandkids in both of those sports. And so pretty soon the sports begin, and I know my grandsons just can't wait for football. And they've been, they're in their 2-a-day practices, same with volleyball. Yep. So, yeah, back to school almost here. So, again, a cautionary thing for people as you're driving around town.
Yep.
We're going to see a lot more traffic around the schools and a lot of kids on bikes and walking and that sort of thing.
And excited kids often don't pay attention.
Right. Yeah, kids of any kind don't always pay attention. So anyway, we want to be careful about that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're coming up tomorrow. The president goes to Alaska to meet with President Putin.
North to Alaska.
Yeah, so, and he said that he is warning severe consequences against Russia if Putin does not agree to cease the ongoing war in Ukraine. Now, so far, the Ukrainian president has not been invited to this little get-together. They're going to go and see him if this first round goes well, I guess. Anyway, Trump's statement came after a talk with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders, where Zelensky accused Putin of bluffing in his pursuit of peace. This is a little bit like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. He's kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to bomb anymore. And then he goes and bombs.
Yeah.
So then he says it again, and then he goes and bombs. So he's the guy that nobody believes anymore. So what if he says to President Trump this time, yes, I'm ready to end this war. Here's the criteria that you'll have to meet in order for me to just call her off. And then do we believe a guy like that?
Well, first off, do you believe him? And second off, I got a feeling he's going to be very unreasonable.
Well, I think so too. And I don't know how they're thinking this is going to go. I heard some reporters ask the president, well, what will you do if he doesn't agree to a ceasefire? And he said there will be severe consequences.
Tariffs are about the only thing he can do.
Well, and they asked, what will those consequences be? And he said, I'm not going to talk about that.
He's not going to Putin up with it.
Yeah. Or I think what he said is, I don't have to tell you what specifically that will look like. But he said that there will be severe consequences. And so far, if Donald Trump says something,
it's happening.
It's happening. He makes it come true. Anyway, so Washington, D.C., why are people, coming to the streets with signs and throwing things and, more bad behavior?
Because they don't like Trump.
Yeah, more bad behavior when exactly what they're trying to do is stop the bad behavior.
Yeah, it's just enforcing the
need for
unreal,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is just because they do not like Donald J. Trump. That's the whole deal. But you know what? They've already made, in the first 24 hours or something like 100 arrests. Now the job will be for people to actually prosecute these criminals and put them away.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not that happens, I don't know what kind of pull the president has once they've been arrested. But most of these bad actors don't ever go away.
No, they just repeat.
And, and people in the city are saying, oh, we don't need it. We don't need it. Well, how come there were 100 arrests then? Kind of think you do need it. And I don't know why anyone would get out there and protest safety of your city. I don't get it.
They're ideologues. They've just got, if a Republican said it, it can't be
right.
Good.
Well, and so on a more regional level, we've talked a lot about what's been going on in downtown Fargo.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I believe this one happened in Moorhead, but a guy beat another guy up, and he is now dead.
Yep.
But here's the concerning part. The guy has been to court, and he beat this guy to death with a skateboard. And they are talking that if he is convicted, he could serve as little as 4 years.
Oh, I believe it. It's ridiculous.
Now, is that because the weapon was a skateboard instead of a gun? I mean, dead is dead, I think. Murder is murder. It doesn't matter how you get there.
It's just ridiculous what the Minnesota legislature has done over the last couple of years. They made it where you basically have to serve 2/3 of your sentence.
4 years.
Yep.
For ending someone's life.
Yep.
And 4 years to some of these thugs?
I can
so
do that.
what? I can do that. Could be, and they said it like this, as many as 10 years. For taking someone's life, I don't think 10 years is a drop in the bucket.
No.
And you know what? When there are no consequences like this, well, what's to deter people from doing this kind of stuff?
There isn't a deterrence,
No.
and that's why we've got so many repeat offenders.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're just going to slap my wrist? Oh, okay.
So here's a problem in Fargo. They don't have enough room in the jail. And there is a beef about that right now. They were going to make room. And I'm not exactly sure which jail they were going to make room in for people to come in. But the rate is so high that the city can't, they can't afford to put the criminals in jail because it costs too much. So is that part of the reason these guys are getting back on the street?
Could be.
Maybe. Okay, so this is happening, I believe, and I'm paraphrasing here because I just listened to this and I didn't have anything to read, so I can't go back and look at it. But I believe it's in New Jersey, and you can take a look if you want. But they're starting to go after parents of kids who are behaving badly.
Oh, I like that.
And even going as far as to put some of these parents behind bars if they are not holding their kids accountable for the crazy stuff they're doing. So often, parents do know what their kids are doing when they're not at home. Or do they, or don't they? They just don't care.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, boys will be boys kind of thing. Anyway, so New Jersey, I believe it's New Jersey, they're going to say, listen, somebody is going to be held accountable. So if you're not going to take care of your kids, then we're going to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So will that work? I don't know, but it seems like a good idea to me.
Well, I know they had that rash of carjackings in the cities, and it was just juveniles who were getting a slap on the wrist, and they're bored, and they knew there was no consequence.
Yeah, they were just they were taking tire irons and breaking windows and stealing stuff, and no consequences.
No consequences whatsoever.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, you and I both have friends on the left.
Yep.
And I would love to sit down with them across the table and say, really, is that okay with you? I mean, I realize, the two of us don't agree politically, but in a case like this, are you okay with kids getting off scot-free for stuff like that? Are you okay with a city like D.C. Protesting the very people who are trying to protect the city?
Yeah.
What do you think their answer would be?
I don't know, but they have an answer because they've got an answer for everyone. There's probably racist or they're homophobic or
Interesting
transphobic.
You should say that. Race is the number one answer, I guess, that they will give you.
Yep.
They can turn anything into racially motivated, or homophobic is another one.
Yep. Global warming.
Or global warming. I mean, those are the three things that you can blame just about everything on.
I shot those 3 people because of global warming.
I tell you what, that's about how ridiculous it's become.
Their carbon footprint was too high.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see. President Trump does say that he'll ask Congress for a long-term extension of the National Guard's presence in D.C. to address the crime problem. The administration is intensifying law enforcement efforts in D.C. with ICE agents collaborating with local police. According to the police department, total violent crime for 2024 in D.C. was down 35% from 2023 and is the lowest it's been in over 30 years. Now, I don't know, but there's still violent crime.
Yeah.
And there was, I heard a news story this morning, too, that they were starting to question some of those percentages and some of those numbers. And were those numbers actually accurate? I don't know. But the fact remains that it's not a safe city.
The stat I always learned in statistic class is you can make any statistic do whatever you want
you
that
sure
statistic
can.
to do.
You sure can.
Same with a poll. It's all how you ask the question.
Do you know... And I just read the line of the next story, which says a Washington, D.C. man has been charged with assaulting a federal law enforcement officer after allegedly throwing a sandwich at an ICE agent. Now, did it hurt him? Nah. But he pointed a finger in the ICE agent's face, called him a fascist.
It's just disorderly conduct.
For sure. And why do people think that they can behave like that? I mean,
because there's no consequences.
Don't we hold law enforcement? I mean, I feel like, gosh, we owe them a lot.
Yeah, we do.
For keeping us safe. And I feel like we need to give them just a tiny bit of respect. But I just heard a story yesterday about Sheriff Jesse Johnner. And I don't know if he's Fargo or Moorhead. Fargo, I believe, sheriff.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Well, yeah, Cass County Sheriff.
Cass County Sheriff, there we go. Anyway, He decided last Saturday night, you know what? I'm gonna do a ride along. I'm gonna go downtown Fargo. And he took a Saturday night when he wasn't even on duty, and he went downtown Fargo between 11:30 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. And he said, first of all, he was happy at the number of police force that were there. He felt good about that. But he said, I have never, ever seen that level of disrespect for other human beings, and especially those in law enforcement. He said they were called names, they had things thrown at them, signs held, calling him pigs, he said, it is so awful. And he said, I just had to experience this firsthand to know what our officers are putting up with. And he said, it is really, really awful. So how do you clean that up? I don't know. Too bad we couldn't get Rudy Giuliani back in his New York days when he turned New York around. Somebody like that to come in and do something.
Well, you gotta hold these establishments, accountable. I don't know, maybe cut off the bar time at 11.
Yeah, I don't know what they can do, but anyway, it's a major problem in especially Fargo, and then of course it gets across the border into Moorhead too.
Build a new jail.
Well, I think sadly that's what they're going to have to do.
They're going to have to start holding people accountable, and that is the number one thing they're not doing.
Right. And Amazon has announced the expansion of its same-day delivery service. They're going to deliver perishable grocery items. So that means
probably not here.
Not here, but they'll do seafood, baked goods, frozen goods, like Raleigh, North Carolina, Tampa, Florida, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, probably as close as it'll get to us, but sounds good. Okay, I've got a crazy story for you when we come back.
Ooh.
Yeah, another world record. This one is a doozy. I'll tell you about it when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Doth thou wisheth to save money? At FergusFallsDeals.com, we've got a whole lot of new savings, including certificates for home and garden. So much more and great savings at low prices, like Atlas Outdoor Services, Flour Mill, and beyond the mitered corners. Log on to set up an account now. It's that easy. Check it out and start saving money today at FergusFallsDeals.com.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
Hey, Twins fans, it's Chris Atterbury. Twins arriving in the wee hours of the morning after a win in New York, and they'll be ready for Tarek Skubal tonight, and we hope you'll join us. I'll be alongside Paul Molitor at Target Field as the Twins and Bailey Over welcome in the Tigers and Tarek Skubal. 6 o'clock lineup card, 6:40 first pitch as we welcome in the 65 American League champs, as well as celebrate Twins Hall of Fame weekend in Corey Koski. It starts tonight on your home for Twins baseball.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Injured or ill and unsure about work? Minnesota Retain offers free expert help to get you back to work safely. Visit mnretain.com or call 507-284-4537. The contents of this ad were developed under Grant H421F240147 from the U.S. Department of Education. The department does not mandate or prescribe practices, models, or any other activities described or discussed in this ad. Paid for by Minnesota Retain. Aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station. station.
Layton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at layton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's layton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
Get the latest in ag information and market updates with the Red River Farm Network. Monday through Friday, News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning. Market update time here on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Tyler Donaldson. Grains starting out the day a bit lower across the board here for this Thursday day of trade. Bauer Trading Market Advisor Ben Cash says grains are looking to move back into weather markets now that the WASDE report's behind us.
That meeting between President Trump and Putin here coming up tomorrow. So, what shakes out from that is a little uncertain. I think that's what's creating some uncertainty out here in the grain markets. Also, we've seen some old crop cancellations today on the weekly sales. New crop sales were pretty solid for corn, beans, and wheat. We've also seen, the U.S. weather getting a little dry in the eastern belt and southern Midwest, but for the most part, we're going to see some temperatures get reduced here after this weekend and getting back to more favorable conditions, but we really need a rain in some of those areas. So that is something to watch going forward. But, mostly today it's kind of a broad-based sell-off.
Cattle market seeing support from the Packers?
Cash trade's been holding steady. The one thing that's kind of been on fire is the boxed beef prices, and that has a lot to do with the tariffs on Brazil, a 50% tariff. So these packers are trying to get their needs bought up here, and retailers as well. The cattle supply remains tight, but the futures market's getting kind of choppy at these levels. Definitely some resistance for the feeder market at 350 level, and then the fat cattle, at that 230 level. So, going forward, we'll have to keep an eye on the demand situation. We're coming into the last bit of the grilling season here for the Northern Hemisphere, Labor Day holiday coming up. So also there's kind of a seasonality here this month for the market to sell off as well. So I think that's what's kind of keeping it in check.
Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Minnesota Farm Bureau is an advocate for agriculture driven by member policy. Education Coordinator Pam Diebele is with us. And Pam, it's that time of the year again, the Minnesota State Fair just around the corner.
We encourage anyone who visits the Minnesota State Fair to come see our new exhibit, which is titled Everything Starts on a Farm. We have a farm web, we have a brand new magnet wall, and we also have our trivia arcade games that all showcase how farmers in Minnesota are growing and raising food and products that we use every single day. So if you do one of those, you can earn one of our famous Farm Bureau spatulas, or we also have a giveaway for kids, which is a Everything Starts on a Farm puzzle this year. We also encourage Farm Bureau members to talk to one of the volunteers in the building, and you can receive an exclusive cutting board gift as well. As a reminder, the fair runs from August 21st through Labor Day, September 1st.
Find out more at fb.mn.org.
Listen to the Dry Bean Scene every Friday here on the Red River Farm Network, brought to you by the North Harvest Bean Growers Association, Johnstown Bean Company, Gowan Company, SRS Commodities, and Heads Up Plant Protectants. We'll track this year's crop potential across the country and get industry perspectives on possible market impacts. It's the Dry Bean Scene every Friday, 12:35, right here on the Red River Farm Network.
Harvest Hotline brings you daily updates with farmers, custom harvesters, elevator managers, and more. Get the latest on harvest progress, yields, and what's happening in the field. Harvest Hotline can be heard weekdays at 12:37 during Agriculture Today. Harvest Hotline brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, Amity Technology, North Dakota Mill, and U.S. Custom Harvesters. We're the Red River Farm Network, reporting agriculture's business.
Checking quotes for you. September wheat Minneapolis down a penny and a half to 5.75 and a half. Chicago September wheat's down a nickel to 5.02. KC hard red winter wheat's down 4 cents at 5.02 and 3/4. September corn down 2 cents to 3.72. September soybeans down 12 and a half to 10.11 and a half. November canola in Winnipeg's down $8 per metric ton to 651.80 Canadian. August live cattle down 55 cents to 235. August feeders down $1.15 at 344.72. August hogs up 2 cents at 109.65. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 97 points right now, sitting at 44,824. You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
FergusFallsDeals.com.
Got a lot of people shopping online and on the go.
At FergusFallsDeals.com.
The Target Field experience isn't just about baseball. There are 1,001 things to do. Sink putts on the lawn, beat your friends at a game of bags, and swing through the value stand for ballpark faves, all under $6. Speaking of bucks, how about a little buck trip? Kids love TC Bear. Have you ever seen a bear move so good? Running the bases on Sunday is a must, and you can't forget about the fireworks. And the Twins win! The Target Field experience is waiting. Get tickets at twins.com.
Looking for that perfect SUV? Find it at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. They've got a great selection of Buick Enclaves in stock. Roomy, reliable, and packed with the latest technology and safety features. Stop in today, take a test drive, and see why your next SUV should come from Minnesota Motor Company. Buick, exceptional by design.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Leighton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at Leighton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's Leighton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
$1, $2, $3, $400. Add up the savings. It's back to school with Northwest Tire. Receive a $100 instant rebate when you purchase any set of 4-passenger or light truck tires in stock with installation and purchase of premium tire coverage. Plus, get a $100 instant rebate when you use your Northwest Tire credit card. Get a $100 Northwest Tire gift card for future purchases and a $100 Toyo mail-in rebate with purchase of qualifying Toyo tires. Valid through August 31st.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Ferguson Now app. Looking at a little bit of rain coming in this evening into tonight, maybe even a thunderstorm or two, but for the most part, hopefully won't be too bad. They're saying most of the storms will be a little bit further north, but we are still in the risk level 2 out of 5. So just things get nasty. Tune in that Ferguson Now app or KBRF radio. And obviously, Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our friends over at Fergus Falls Monument and Pioneer Care.
Okay, just doing some scrolling during the break, and I see this. One of our colleagues here on Real Rock Z103, Miles, posted this, that there is a petition out there that you can sign to reinstate the former Minnesota flag.
Yes.
So over 12,000 people have already signed it. So I'm guessing that you can go to our Facebook page and grab that.
Yep, I'm trying to bring up the article right now.
Okay. And yeah, over 12,000 people have already signed it. And the decision makers in the state of Minnesota, which of course we have zero faith in, Tim Walz, Peggy Flanagan, and Amy Klobuchar, because none of those three people are going to help us get this done, I don't think. But I feel like that whole flag thing got changed. It was like
nobody wanted it.
No, and it was like slid under the rug in the dark of night. And I don't know about you.
Well, it wasn't
but,
really slid under the
kind
the
of
petition, but I mean the design process went on for a while. But yeah, nobody really wanted it.
But you know what? That whole design process was such a bunch of baloney. They knew what that they wanted that flag to look like, and I'm sorry, but the Minnesota flag looks like the Somali flag.
Yeah.
So
it says supporters of the petition argue that the redesign approved in 2024 by Governor Tim Walz and the state legislature fails to reflect the people of Minnesota. They lament how the change was imposed without consulting the broader Minnesota community and saying that the original 1893 flag carries a richer historical symbolism. Saying, as someone who grew up with the original flag, it holds a special place in my heart, the petition reads, calling the flag a proud symbol that stands for our unity and identity. The petition organizers say that the new design wipes out the symbol that so many of us associate with our state pride and heritage.
Okay, and one of the reasons that this got changed in the first place goes back to that whole racism thing.
Yeah.
Because there is an Indian on a horse.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that for him is not, or for the, for the native population, that isn't a source of pride. There's also farmers.
Yep.
So why is it okay to have a farmer on there, and it's not okay to have a native person on a horse?
Yeah, it's.
See, I don't even hardly dare say Indian anymore. Isn't that terrible?
Well, yeah, Native American.
I don't have a
problem
but there's
saying
nothing.
Native.
I know, but there is nothing derogatory. I mean, they're proud of their heritage as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, and this our old Minnesota flag really highlights that heritage of everyone. There
was some idiot wrote a book about proper flags and semaphore symbols, and they said that they had all the different rules that they thought would make a clean flag, and Minnesota failed first off because it had Minnesota on it. They said it should have no letters, and then it also said it was too busy and all that. And so some idiot who watched that YouTube channel went, I think we need to fix this.
And just think, not even considering the design,
Mm-hmm.
imagine what that cost the state of Minnesota
A lot.
to change everything. I mean, they had to change so many things. It's like when you change your logo.
Mm-hmm.
You have to reorder all your letterhead and your business cards and your blah, 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 on and on and on. Same thing here.
Yep, I know up in Detroit Lakes, because I help cover the news in DL, the city council, they were like, okay, I guess we got to start using the new flag, but a lot of people were not happy about that, so they said, you know what, we're not going to fly a state flag, period.
Oh, okay.
So they're just like, well, because they've got people angry on both sides, and so they said, you know what, we're just
skipping it.
We're skipping it.
Okay.
No state flag.
Well, so far, they're looking for 15,000 signatures, and they are darn close.
Yep.
Right now, it stands at 13,662. So anyway, I'm sure that...
It's on change.org is where the petition is at.
Right, change.org. And then reinstate the original Minnesota state flag. If you just Google that, you'll find it too. So anyway, and there is a place for you to send your note to the decision makers, who I've already mentioned, and I feel like that will fall completely on deaf ears.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. But but we can't sit back and do nothing thinking, oh gosh, they're never going to do anything anyway. I mean, if that's the attitude that we're going to take, nothing will ever change. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to sign the petition, and I'm going to write a note to each one of those people I just mentioned. And there's a way to do it easily on here.
Well, I mean,
So,
Amy Klobuchar had nothing to do with it.
well, she's one of the decision makers that you can. They list those three, and they give you a way to connect to those three people.
Because I was going to say, because it was with the Minnesota legislature, not the federal legislature. Oh, well, all right.
Yeah, I don't know, but she's from Minnesota.
She is.
She could do something. She could help. Okay, I'm going to tell you about that. I always talk about these crazy records that people try to break. How about this one? This guy teamed up with YouTuber Josh Horton to set a new Guinness World Record for the most baked beans eaten with toothpicks.
Oh.
Do you want to know how? Okay, and I
would
think
not want to be that person's roommate.
It's a 3-minute deal. So you get 3 minutes to see how many baked beans you can eat with a toothpick. So the previous record was 429 beans. So there you go. That's in 3 minutes. And that was by a team of 4. So this is not, it doesn't go very fast. It must be hard to poke the beans or something. Anyway, this new team of 4 managed to devour 559 beans. Yeah. So anyway, one guy personally consumed 211 just by himself.
Again, would not want to be that person's roommate.
Well, anyway, the group's successful attempt has earned them the new Guinness World Record for the most baked beans eaten with a toothpick in 3 minutes by a team of 4. Who thinks of that stuff?
People who want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Gosh, I mean...
You and I have got to create something so crazy and so stupid
so that
we
we
can
hold
get
a
in.
record.
Yeah.
Okay, what could that be? Maybe we will take your suggestions. You can text us. We would like some ideas.
321-1926.
For crazy stuff.
321-1926.
Yeah, that Dave and I could hold a Guinness World Record. And if you give us the idea and we get a record, you get to be in on the record with us, even if we're the ones to achieve it. Or if it's your idea and you want to join us, we would love that too. So we'll see if anyone has a good idea. I just don't think I think out of the box enough to think of something so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty stupid.
Well, and do they just let anybody? I mean, if it's never been done before and you're not really breaking a record, you're just
you're creating a record.
You're establishing one.
Yes, you're establishing the baseline. Yeah, I mean, if nobody's done it, nobody's done it.
I guess. I don't know. It just seems so ridiculous. Anyway, all right. Here is a North Carolina woman who has recaptured another record. Here we are. Guinness World Records title for the largest collection of Coca-Cola memorabilia.
That sounds spendy.
Yeah. She has 5,623 unique items. I've got a neighbor at the lake who's got a bunch of Coke stuff. I bet she could rival her. Anyway, Debbie Endicott was first awarded the record in 2020 with just 2,028 items. Now she has later increased to 5,070. She lost the title in 23 to another collector, but has now reclaimed it at 5,623 items.
Can you imagine the mad eBay bidding between those two on weird stuff that pops up?
Do you know what I think of? Can you imagine what her house looks like with all that Coke junk? Ugh.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. I mean, just that's all. 5,000 items, where do you put those? You know me. I mean, if there's a pencil laying on the counter and it's not going to be used in 15 minutes, out. I would not be a good collector. I can't stand all that junk. And I know this is not junk to the collectors, sorry. But anyway, yeah, I'm out just for that reason, because where would you put over 5,000 items? Not
Barn,
exactly.
Garage.
Yeah, no thank you. Okay. This is interesting, I think, that people drinking alcohol is at an all-time low.
Really? You figure with Trump in office, people would be drinking a lot.
That blows me away. Yeah, it says that there is a Gallup poll that shows alcohol consumption in the U.S. has fallen to a 90-year low, with only 54% of adults reported drinking any kind of.
Come on, Wisconsin, you gotta, pull us up.
I don't know. You'd think just with Wisconsin we'd be in good shape, if you call that good. Good for the people who make the booze and sell it. Anyway, the survey finds a record 53% now believe that moderate drinking is unhealthy. I heard, what's her name, Jillian Michaels this morning, and she is that workout guru. And
she's a cult leader.
Yeah, kind of. But she's a health freak. And she was talking, and this was kind of their topic of conversation. And she said, basically, there's really, no matter how you want to spin it, there's really nothing good about drinking alcohol. Like once in a while they'll say, oh, but a glass of red wine is good for your heart and blah, blah, blah. Well, you can believe whatever you want. But if you believe Jillian Michaels, she said, it's really not good at all. But she said, so now people are saying, well, I don't drink alcohol. I just drink what they call mocktails. So that is like a cocktail, only there's no booze in it. But she said oftentimes that's worse than drinking that glass of wine because people use, all these sweet drinks and sweeteners and all this fluffy stuff.
I bet she only drinks water. She does not know the joy of coffee.
Oh, she's got to drink coffee. She didn't say anything about coffee. She did say that if you're going to drink, it's all about moderation, which is kind of the case with food, drink, everything. But she said that a couple of drinks a week is considered moderation. And she would suggest if you're going to drink anything, you would have a glass of wine. And she said even those mocktails, she said, honestly, you're better off with a glass of wine because there's less sugar and junk in that than there is in most of these mocktails. And then either that or if you are an alcohol drinker, let's say you drink, I don't know, tequila or vodka or whatever, you should drink it with water or sparkling water or something like that. And anyway, but I just think it's really interesting and I think it's great all the way around.
Yeah.
54% of people say, no, just don't do it. I don't drink. And I know we have some friends who have said, I just quit because I think originally it was a weight loss thing. Just, it got out of hand. So I thought, well, that's one of the things I can cut out. And they did, and they lost a bunch of weight. And it was like a contest. He was in contest with a couple other guys. But he just never went back to it because he said, I feel so good that I think this is how it's going to be. So anyway, maybe a lot of people are doing that. Anyway, they are saying, too, that alcohol has so many different health risks, including its link to cancer. The federal government is expected to update dietary guidelines to reflect these concerns. But anyway, that's another reason that people are just saying, Nope, I think I quit. So good for them. College grads, higher education decreases the likelihood of marriage.
Well, it's because they get indoctrinated in college.
Yes, according to...
I do not need to be married.
Exactly.
I do not need the children.
Each additional year of schooling reduces further the probability of being married by around 4 percentage points, and that's those aged 25 to 34. The research reveals that education simultaneously makes people less likely to ever marry while also reducing the chances of divorce or widowhood. That's like saying, I'm not going to get a dog because one day it's going to die and I'm going to be sad.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you're not getting married, you're not getting divorced.
Well, true, but if
and
that's
you're not
what
going to be a widow because you got no husband.
Yeah, I know, but if that's what you're trying to achieve, I'm just afraid of being divorced, so I just don't get married in the first place. But I think you're right. I think college is telling kids that that's not necessary.
You don't need it.
You don't have to. Yeah. Anyway, highly educated individuals may have higher standards for potential spouses or feel less need for the financial security that marriage traditionally provided. The effects are roughly equal for men and women, contradicting theories of gender differences. And anyway, they suggest that education reshapes life priorities and relationship expectations in ways that often lead away from traditional marriage patterns. I also know some kids who got into real liberal colleges, and they are convinced that this world is going to hell in a handbag and potentially
global warming.
It probably is.
The comet's going to get us next year.
Yeah, so they're just saying, nope, not going to bring a child into this. And I guess if that's their decision, that is their decision.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to make that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I do hear that from time to time. So
when I hear people say that, I'm like, if that's your mindset, good. Don't have kids.
Yeah,
I don't want another one of you.
Right, exactly. Let's see. Here is a good story. I guess we're coming up on the end of the show here. I'm going to get this in before I forget. The headline reads like this: a trio of neighbors honored for saving the lives of Florida plane crash survivors.
Oh, yeah, this was crazy.
Did you see that? I actually saw some of the footage on this. It was very cool, and people they didn't think of themselves. They just, dove in. Anyway, a small private aircraft crashed near North Perry Airport in Florida. This was maybe a couple of weeks ago, and it burst into flames, threatened the lives, of course, of those people on board. However, a group of courageous local residents rushed to the scene, putting their own safety at risk to rescue the trapped passengers. The Cessna Skymaster plane had been approaching the airport when it collided with a tree, erupting in flames almost immediately. Nearby homeowner Laura Ingram described the chaotic scene, recounting the weird sputtering noise following a loud explosion that sounded like as if a car may have exploded. With no time to spare, several locals sprang into action. One grabbed an axe, attempting to break the aircraft windows. Another neighbor grabbed a hose to douse the growing fire. Their combined efforts ensured the safe extraction of the pilot, an adult passenger, and 2 children, all of whom, believe it or not, sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
Amazing. And
there was just, I saw a story this morning about, and I got to think about where this was. I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, huge rains went from a couple of inches, 4 inches on the ground, to 4 feet in a matter of minutes. And one woman was trapped in her car. The water had come up about halfway through, over her window, and she was unable to open her door. And some guy, young man, just ran over to the car, grabbed a big rock that thankfully he found, smashed the window, pulled her out through the window, and saved her. Minutes after getting her away from that car, the whole car was engulfed it went completely underwater.
And that's why you need to have those window smasher
Do you have
tools.
one of those
Yep.
you do?
Yeah, where you can cut your seatbelt and break the windows,
Yeah, and I just think that would be, to save your own life or to, in that situation, to save someone else's. So a couple of good stories there and good outcomes. We'd love to hear that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up a Thursday and another week of Morning Talk. Thank you for joining us. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Monument Company. Have a great weekend.